So, what is the most difficult business to fail in? What's the type of business where even if you tried, you probably couldn't lose money? That has to be any asset-based business. Anytime you're renting something out, either a house or a car or a boat or a plane, the plane's probably the easiest way to not make money, but it's still pretty difficult. If you're doing the right thing, you're pretty much never going to lose money on any of these things. Now, the reason is most assets like this, you can buy into one that doesn't depreciate. So you could buy a plane that'll hold its value because basically all planes are kept in a certain condition. So you could have a plane from like 1970. Obviously, age isn't going to play a major role. It's already, 50 years old. If it gets 55 years old, it's going to be worth about the same, except you have inflation, so it might be worth more. Same with a car. A car might be, you could even do it with a 3-year-old car. It might be worth the same next year if you're buying it right. So the easiest way to do this and not lose money would be with real estate. So if you buy any type of real estate, it's going to be very difficult to not make money. Now, I say cars and planes because I want you to realize that it's not that difficult. It doesn't require a huge amount of money to actually start doing this. You could do this with a car that costs, maybe as cheap as like $3,000, which you can also get loaned to you from a bank just as a personal loan. If you have any sort of income, might not even need any income at all. Just have, a credit card approval somehow. So you could buy an asset like that and you could start renting it out, and you're not going to lose money because you own the asset outright. You have very low fixed monthly fees, and you're always going to have massive margins when you're doing this. If you have a $5,000 car, you're renting it out at $20 a day. Just think 20 times 30 days per month. There's 30.4 days per month on average, but let's say 30. That's going to be about $600 that you're going to make. And your ROI there is huge because in less than 10 months, what is that? I think that's about 8 months until you make all of your $5,000 back. And you don't have many expenses. You're going to have insurance. This is assuming you bought the vehicle outright. Even if you have a financing payment on $5,000, that's going to be almost nothing. And really you're only losing the interest as well. So if your payment is $200 a month, maybe $150 of that goes to equity. So you're retaining all that money, and $50 a month is lost to interest, whatever. And then let's say you have your insurance. I pay $59 a month insurance on my $90,000 Audi R8. Insurance is not as expensive as people think. If you personally have accidents or something and you have trouble qualifying for cheap insurance, you can also do this inside of a trust. So you open a trust. That trust takes possession of the car. Even if there's a loan on it, you can still put it into a trust. And that trust then insures the car. And that trust has no accidents because you just created it and it's not you. It's also not going to pay, extra fees for being young. So you could get, let's say worst case, it's like $150 a month, very worst case. Now your expenses on that are $200 a month, and you're going to have $400 a month profit from the rentals. You're still going to make all your money back in 12 and a half months. So that's a huge ROI. That's, 90 something per year. I think 95% ROI per year, which is insane because in the stock market, you're going to be lucky with like maybe 10 average, and even that's kind of high. So any asset-based business is going to be pretty similar to that, especially if you buy the asset outright. If you buy it outright, you have no interest, no loan payment, you're always going to make money. And that's the easiest way to get into business in terms of, making it so that you can't fail. Obviously, there's easier ways to start a business that are more risky. The least risky business you get into would be flipping things. So just buying random junk, whatever, sale items, and posting it on eBay, Amazon for sale, Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. That's going to be the easy way to get into business. But there's still a level of risk there. You're putting money out and you're not positive that's going to actually result in a sale. Whereas you're going to have guaranteed income, essentially, by investing in actual assets and renting out those assets. So it's very difficult to fail if you're doing that. If you want to get into business and you're all about that slow and steady growth, you're going to want to buy assets and make asset-based businesses. If you want to make a lot of money very quickly, even quicker than that, 100-something ROI per year, 95% ROI per year, you're going to want to start an actual business, which requires more risk, but has greater rewards. But I mean, if we're talking about 95% ROI per year, that's pretty crazy rewards-wise. Obviously, you're going to have some fees. It's going to end up being a little bit less. You might have some issues, but you're never going to lose money if you own the asset outright.